Iha, annyeong. Hello, I am the Dark Fae, and this past weekend I went to my first Renaissance fair. So in this video I wanted to kind of share a little bit about my experience and what it was like. It was a lot of fun. This was the Norcal Renaissance Fair in Gilroy, and I think this is like the main or like the biggest Renaissance fair in Northern California. And I guess each of their weekends kind of has a theme. So the weekend we went, which was just this past weekend, the 19th, the theme was like Halloween fantasy. So of course I dressed up. I'll probably be sharing a video on how I created like my look and I didn't create the costume, but like how I put together my costume. But for now, here's a picture of what I was dressed as, and I call it like warlock kind of sorceress, but that was really fun to do, and even the costume was a little bit cumbersome, but I was really happy with how I looked. But the first thing, I want to talk about for Renaissance Fair, I guess, is the costumes. I was really pleasantly surprised with how many people actually dress up. I feel like there were more people dressed up than not. That also could have just been because like you tend to notice the costumes more than kind of the regular clothing. They did have a costume rental area as well, so if you don't come dressed, you can always join in. But just some people have some crazy costumes. Like some people are in full like Renaissance like high court regalia. There are people dressed in like full armor. Or just like with like that, just like very authentic looking kind of like either like dresses or like the coats and like the waistcoats and like the flowy kind of blouses. But it was really fun. It was really cool to see. Some people are crazy talented and like actually make their own costumes, or like even their own armor, which is nuts. But that was really cool. And so like when you first walk in, there's like a section for food and stuff, and then kind of a pathway for all of the shops and vendors. There were shops also selling selling costume pieces or clothing items, and they're kind of expensive. Everything at the Renaissance Fair was kind of expensive, but it's also kind of to be expected because a lot of it is like handmade or handcrafted, and you can't really get it anywhere else. But some of the costume pieces are so amazing. They're all like from very like, it feels like very high quality like material, and it's all very like thick and heavy. There's just like everything. There's corsets, there's skirts, there's dresses, there's like waistcoats and like the full kind of like suits for men, and you can kind of there's enough to kind of fit any style and like you can kind of choose any kind of costume you want. Like you could put together an easy like kind of pirate outfit. You could be a knight, you could be a lady of like royalty or the high court or something like that. But it was a lot, and it made me really want to like learn how to make my own clothes and like stitch together my own costume, but I'm not quite at that level yet. Like I know how to sew, but not that well. And so then what we did, we kind of like wandered kind of through the shops a couple times. They sell some really cool stuff there. It was really hard to like refrain from like impulse buying a lot of stuff. But they have like handcrafted like metal jewelry and like crowns, really cool like hand carved items. Like there was someone selling like magic wands. There's someone like really cool mugs and like hand carved like goblets kind of, or some of them are like made from ceramics or like kind of like pottery, like almost like alchemy jugs or like potion bottles. What else do they have? They just had so many different varieties. There was somebody selling brooms. There was people selling a lot of like leather pieces as well. Like I saw like leather like claw gauntlets that were really cool that I actually really wanted. Like leather accessories, like satchels and bags, and like notebook covers, kind of like that. There's obviously a lot of like weapons. Weapons are allowed, but they have to be like sheathed, and you can't have like exposed steel. But they did have some like swords and stuff like that for sale as well. Yeah, it was just a lot. It was really fun. We did go to kind of see a show. It was like a half hour. It was kind of like a comedy sketch, but like Renaissance themed, kind of. That was pretty funny. And then we also went to see the joust. The joust, I think, was really cool. We kind of got there early to get seats, and then there was a show before the joust of like kind of like showing off some of the horses, and some of the trainers and the horses did kind of like a routine, and that was really nice. And the joust was like, I think there were 4 nights, and each section of like the stands was a different country. So there was Scotland, Spain, France, and Britain, or England. And so we were kind of supposed to cheer for the country's night that we were sitting in. So they did actually joust. That was cool. They obviously didn't use the dangerous like spear-tipped lances. They used like the wooden lances, kind of like you see in Princess Bride. I have some footage of it, so I'll put it in here. But it was really cool to see. I've never actually seen jousting like live. This is my first time. But it wasn't just jousting too. They also kind of like, it was kind of like a choreographed routine, kind of. So they did like some jousting, and then like one of the knights would like challenge a knight to a sword fight or something, and they'd get off their horse and then they start fighting with like actual weapons. That was really cool to see. Like there were swords. One of them used there was like a pole axe, and you could actually see like the sparks flying off of like the swords as they were like hitting each other. And then the show was only a half hour. I kind of wish it was longer, because I think it could have been like it wasn't really something I think I would get tired of. I kind of wish there was a little bit more jousting, but I guess you could only really joust for so long before it kind of, like, you can't really do any more with it.
Wait,
And they have another pass.
it's already broken. We're just taking care of it.
1 point to France. Face off and salute.
Wait, now we're friends.
We appreciate your presence. We have a noble ladies, so this is all official. To your sides. Having the blessings of no killing. And when lifted, we have a noble. We have 2 nobles. Let's see who will win this. Swords on horseback. These horses are trained to not react to the sound of classic melody in their ears. Oh! Now we use Sir Antonio's ribs to get trained to not react to the sound of steel. Oh, twice in the same spot! I think you're leading with your left, Spade. Can you continue, Sir Antonio? Oh, you'll be fine. Sir Jeffrey! Sir Jeffrey, why don't you step down from your horse and face him on foot? In a fair
He's like,
combat.
no, I'm not gonna do that.
fine. Everyone was losing in the beginning too.
This is much cooler sword fighting.
Stephanie passed the lead about 20. That's impressive.
Wait, what's France doing? Wait, France, get out of here!
Now everybody's just doing whatever they want.
Let's see what else that was there. Kind of stationed around the Renaissance Fair were kind of, I guess, games kind of, or like activities you could do. They had some stuff for the kids, like little like rides, like swings and like the bungee jumping things that you kind of see at fairs. And then they had like archery, crossbows, knife throwing, and axe throwing. The axe throwing, they weren't really axes, they were just kind of slim blades with like an axe kind of end, and you kind of just throw it, and it's like very thin. I didn't try any of those, but I kind of wanted to, but the thing is, like, my outfit was just like kind of cumbersome and I couldn't really move well in it, so I think next time I'm going to choose a costume that's not quite so elaborate or has so many pieces, so I can actually kind of do the stuff that I want to do more easily. But I think I want to try either knife throwing or axe throwing. Probably knife throwing, because the axes weren't like actual axes. I wish they were. But I kind of want to try knife throwing because it seems fun to do, because I've already done like kind of like actual archery, and the like targets that were like super close and the bows that they had weren't like full like recurve bows or anything like that, so I feel like I've already kind of gotten that experience. I think next time I would definitely still go to the joust. I do want to try axe throwing, and I think I would look into more of the like shows, because they have kind of performances throughout the day, like with a couple different stages. I think some of it is kind of going on throughout the Renaissance Fair. Like, as you're walking around, sometimes you'll hear bells or like music, and you'll see like the dance macabre coming through, or they had like the Queen of England kind of like do a small like march kind of throughout the fair, and you could kind of see them sitting at their kind of stage. But I would want to look more into the different performances, because I think there's a pretty big variety, and I think it'd be pretty cool to see some of them. We went kind of like as a group, so we all were kind of just wandering instead of, I don't think we really like planned what shows we wanted to go to, if any. We didn't really talk about it, so we just kind of did our own thing. But it was a lot of fun, and I think if I would definitely go again, maybe next year, I will be better prepared as to like what to expect and what I want to do, like what I want to buy. I do bring cash, because I think most of the vendors are probably, it's easier to just pay in cash. I didn't actually buy as much as I thought I would. There's a lot of stuff that I really wanted to buy, and then I went back around and was like, no, I shouldn't. I bought like a claw ring that I don't have on me right now because I left it on my desk. And then I also bought this pair of earrings, which I really like. I think these are hand carved from, I want to say their little card says Mother of Pearl. So I would wear them right now, but my ears are kind of sensitive. I haven't worn earrings in a long time, so gotta get used to it again. And these are a little bit heavy. So yeah, they're just really cool. Let's see, is there anything else? I don't know. I can't really think of what else to talk about. I think for these, like, I know people normally like do a vlog, but I'm just not that comfortable with like just recording while I'm going through something, and plus I was holding a lot of stuff. My costume was kind of difficult. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And like, if any of you guys have never been to a Ren Fair or are thinking about going one, I would definitely recommend. I'm sure there's many across like the US. Like this one, Norcal Ren Faire. I'm sure there's a few down in LA. But yeah, I'm sure you could find one near you or somewhat near you that's accessible. And I would definitely recommend going. I think it's a very unique experience, and it's kind of fun it's kind of like the thing with conventions that I always say, where it's really fun to kind of go to an event where everyone is there kind of for the same thing and is like into it as you are. It's just like a very cool feeling of like community and like being with other people who can nerd out with you, you know? So yeah, let me know if you've been to the Ren Fair and if you have any experiences that you want to share. And I think I will probably be making a video on how I made my Sorceress Warlock look. It's also kind of suitable for Halloween, so I'll be posting that a little bit later. I still have a couple videos that I'm behind on, so I'll be catching up with those. But thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!